Hi, everybody. I'm Jeffrey Driscoll.
And I'm Jim Kerr.
Well, Jim, I'm still eating the Halloween candy that I haven't given out.
I think I'm not going to go grocery shopping.
No, you might not need to.
Don't need to. Yeah.
Folks, we have a different setup today. So if our little screen here is behind the camera today, so if you see us kind of just going like this and going off camera and reading,
basically we're shambles. But stick with us.
It's okay.
Just
stick with us.
It's a good show. Stick with us. We got this.
We got this. Let's start out with the CFL, where the Eskimos are not only playoff bound, but we're hosting a playoff game for the first time since 2004. Jim, first off, let's talk about Friday's game. They almost blew it.
They almost did. Yeah, they looked pretty good all throughout, I guess. Just at the end there, I don't know if it was a case of taking their foot off the gas pedal or what, but they blew a 10-point lead, which granted isn't a whole. It's not a whole lot in terms of football, but the flip side of that is you can say that it was good to see them come back after blowing the lead,
right?
And still, they've had trouble with field goals this year, and so the game-winning field goal from Derek Schiavone, who learned an hour before the game that he was playing.
Good for him.
Yeah, he tweeted about it afterwards. He said, imagine that. So yeah, it was good to see them actually, manage to muster up. And what about a Darius Bowman?
Yeah, no kidding.
226 yards.
It was unbelievable.
He got a 20-some yard play taken back in the early on in the game for a phantom pass interference. So it could have been even more than that. But that's the best receiving game of anyone in the league this season.
Totally, absolutely.
If they have him rolling heading into the playoffs.
That's right. Jerome Messam as well, 1,000 points as a Canadian, first time since 2003, I think it was. And anyways, he was playing well. And the guy's such a mystery that it's nice to see him play well
and
too.
And he can catch the ball too.
Yeah.
He can catch and run. So that those two players along with Fred Stamps will be the keys really to a deep playoff threat for the Eskimos.
Well, speaking of which, you blogged about it this week, anysportanytime.ca, kerseysnotebook.blogspot.com. But what is it going to take for the Edmonton Eskimos to win the Grey Cup?
They need to play like they did on Friday, like have the receivers checking in and getting some action and not dropping balls but they also, more important than that really, is getting the run game going as well. They need to have that mix because that's how you keep defenses unsure. And the longer the offense is on the field, the better the defense is going to play, because if they're not out there every other 2 and out, then they're as good as any defense in the league.
Absolutely. Going into the playoffs now, who do you think is going to be in the Grey Cup championship?
Eskimos.
From the East?
Eskimos.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
I would have said Montreal before this weekend's action.
That's right.
But they got stomped on by the BC Lions.
Did they ever? With the BC Lions taking over first place in the West.
So for the Eskimos to get to the Grey Cup, they got to go through Calgary.
Yeah.
And Calgary's always tough. This is Drew Tate.
Yeah.
He seems to be having a pretty solid start to his career, but also they're going to have to beat BC, and that's going to be very tough. They're putting up 43 points.
Yeah. Against Montreal. Yeah. I just worked them. Nice for them to have that one, though, because that really...
loser point.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. How it feels.
That's right. On to hockey now, where the Edmonton Oilers in the middle of a 6-game road trip, the annual CFRs at Rexall Place. Please get the heck out. Road trip. So there was a loss in Phoenix, so that was the end of their 6-game winning streak. How would you rate their October?
I was surprised. Very surprised. The defense was supposed to be brutal.
Yeah.
And they're very stingy. They're not letting in a lot of goals. They're not giving up a lot of opportunities against the LA Kings. The Kings never really looked like they were really threatening to score.
Which is crazy, because I think the Kings could go to the Cup this year. Like
they're a strong team.
Absolutely.
But they kept them to the outside, and the chances they did get, pretty average.
Exactly.
So that's been the biggest surprise for me, is that the defense is playing the way it is. That Corey Potter, not flashy, but does everything right.
Absolutely. It made the team right out of training camp. I love seeing that.
That's great. So I would give them a pretty good rating for October, but it's very important to see, how how they play in November, how they keep that up, especially with this big chunk of road games.
And after this loss, to see whether they come back. Kids, they don't necessarily, the lows are lows and the highs are highs, and they've been on a serious high. So let's hope.
I mean, it wasn't like they lost 7-0 to Boston.
That's
That'd be a little tougher to bounce back from
exactly.
1 or 2 goal defeat.
Alex Hemsky's been out of the lineup. He's had his problems with his shoulders. Not that we didn't call it, but he's been injured. But it looks like he might be coming back. But that really does have some problems with the room in the lineup. We got too many people, and
you got to put him back in.
Obviously, he's talented. Where do you put him?
I think, I'm not sure where you put him, but another question is, who do you take out?
More importantly,
and I really don't know. There's some. Maybe some of the younger guys, not the younger guys.
Not the young guys.
I guess that really doesn't narrow it down. With the younger guys. I don't know. Maybe you take out a third liner, like Lander.
See, this is what you're looking for. Who knows? Because how do you take out a guy like okay, for instance, PRV. PRV hasn't scored really very much, but the guy hasn't also been given the chance.
He's been solid,
and he's been totally solid. So I mean, I don't understand where he's going to go. I just don't know. And these guys don't have this AHL. A lot of them don't have two-way contracts. Anyways,
it's a great problem to be having. In the year.
No kidding.
Not oh my God, we need somebody.
Yeah.
We've got a spoil of riches right now, so it's
nice to have. Speaking of which, Linus Ullmark, he was sent down to the AHL a little while ago. He had spent 5 games or something in the press box, and he tweeted a few things. There's a couple of comments that he made. What's going on with him?
Yeah, he basically said that he doesn't see himself playing in the AHL all season.
And why?
I guess he has a clause in his contract
there it is,
where he can go back to Europe. So he doesn't want to play in the AHL all year, which is fine. I mean, you want a guy, and that was the argument before. There was some controversy around him last year where he made some comments about getting cut. And you want a guy to think that he's good enough to be there and to have the...
Definitely.
I mean, he's obviously a confident kid.
Yes.
And because he's a couple of years younger than me, so I can call him a kid.
Yeah.
But he was saying he doesn't want to stay in the AHL, and from a teammate standpoint, I wouldn't want to hear that if I was down in Oak City. But he was also saying that they like the younger guys a little more than they like me or something.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what's going on in his head, and you got to take the context too. So I don't really know how those quotes. It was in Puck Life magazine. I don't know how. What the context.
How worthy those are.
Yeah, but it's good to see that he doesn't want to play in the AHL, because if you want to be a pro hockey player in the NHL, you shouldn't want to play in the AHL. But I hope those comments don't backfire on him somehow.
Yeah. The Colorado Avalanche and your Detroit Red Wings started out strong, but both have fallen off a bit, and the Senators went from brutal to not bad.
Yeah, to
decent. But when do you hit the panic button in Columbus, where they came into the weekend at 2-10-1, and those twos were just like everybody was watching them on the sports shows, and they're like, "Oh my God, they won a game!" Like they had to start the parade after Columbus wins one game.
Yeah. I don't know what they do. I feel bad for Rick Nash. I have for years.
God, no kidding.
They're not a good team.
Could you imagine if Rick Nash was on any other team?
Oh, if he was
it'd be
on
so
a good
incredible.
Team, it'd be insane. Oh. Yeah. But I obviously there's going to be some changes coming there if this goes another couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You can't go 2-10 and whatever. That's pathetic.
That is, yeah. So there's going to be changes there. Too bad for Scott Housen, the GM there. The only
GM firing, is the coach firing?
Exactly. Who knows? Did you see the Cal Clutterbuck deck the linesman this week?
My goodness.
What was going on there?
He got in a fight with Max.
Yeah, that's right.
Didn't see. They just thought just blindly throwing punches.
Yeah.
Decked him. Guy stays on his feet.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Good for him.
That's some gritty line spinning
absolutely.
Right there.
Another random moment. The Sharks gave Joe Thornton a... I love this. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. The Sharks gave Joe Thornton a 10 to 15,000-year-old woolly mammoth tusk as a present for playing 1,000 career games.
Yeah,
I'm inviting those guys to my next birthday party.
Absolutely,
because what a great gift.
Yeah, here's a Brontosaurus thigh.
That's right.
Thanks, man.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
I saw that and I was like, "What is that?"
Yeah, I thought
it meant one of those New Zealand.
Oh yeah. That's what I'd call them. That's right. Oh, good times. Let's talk a little basketball now, since it might be our last chance for a while. It doesn't sound like things are going well in the NBA labor talks, does it?
No, it really doesn't.
No.
I think the latest thing was there's a deadline now, and there's I think the owners will give the players 51%. They were holding on 50-50. The players want 52 or something.
Yeah.
So I think it's obviously in their best interest to just, bite the bullet and get something done. But I can see why the players are fighting this, or fighting with the owners, because I never really feel sorry for the owners in these situations, because whatever the CBA ends up being, the owners will find a way to still just do whatever they want.
Same way the NHL
basically.
did.
And yeah, exactly. And you'll see in a couple of years it's probably just back to where it was.
Yep.
Just in time for another round of marketing talks. But
Exactly.
I think there's going to be some trouble here if they don't hit this deadline. I don't know if that means a canceled season or not, but I think we're a ways from that still, but yeah, it's not looking good at all.
Miami Heat owner Mickey Arison was fined $500,000 for a tweet this week where he told a fan that was calling owners greedy that they were barking at the wrong owner. Is that
cracks in the armor?
Well, exactly.
That's what you're going to start to see, right? You're going
to
as this goes on, you're going to see some players be like, "Okay, well, I need to get paid. So let's figure this out."
So what's going on?
And so, not all owners are in the same boat. We're talking about a big league right now.
Exactly. We're going to move on to the GABBYs now. These are good and bad by you. We take the best and the worst in the world of sport and usually make fun of it. So a good, this isn't going to be fun, but a good to Oilers forward Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for being named the Rookie of the Month for October with 11 points in 11 games. He's lived up to the hype so far.
Absolutely. And I think he looks great out there. It's the vision that he has on the ice is exactly what we were told we were going to see.
Totally.
He's just a sharp little player.
I like it.
And he's not that little.
No, he's not that little. And he's only going to get bigger.
Yeah, that's right. How about a good to Ryujiro Ueda?
Nice work.
Yeah, thank you very much. He scored a goal from 63 yards out with his head recently. You might recall a Norwegian player hit one from about 62.
Yeah.
And it was they were debating whether or not it'd be in the Guinness Book of World Records. Not that anyone reads that. But we have the longest running Edmonton video sports blog that is filmed on a weekend.
That's right.
Which is pretty good. I mean,
it should be
the certificates in the mail, I think.
I think so. If anybody from Guinness is watching this.
So this guy in the Japanese soccer league hit a header from 63. It bounced a couple of times right over the goalie. And that's got to be tough.
No kidding. Listen, in no way can I see the other guy be there. Can you give me? Yeah,
sure can.
Give me a little hand there.
How about boxing's odd couple?
Yes,
Jeff, Manny Pacquiao back on late night TV.
Yes,
singing all the hits.
This is what he wants to do. Yeah, totally. Yeah. He loves it.
And Floyd Mayweather is talking about.
He's on the late nights.
Yeah. He's talking about we have a fight already and it's booked. It's this day and it's at this venue. And Pacquiao's promoters are like,
"What?
No, we haven't talked to us about it." So,
what are you talking about?
Wouldn't you want to shop that fight around?
Yeah,
maybe?
Exactly.
So I don't know. And then Mayweather was called into a radio show and made himself look like a dummy. So
total idiot.
So that's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna go to the bad side now.
See, there it is. You can see it.
2 Iranian national soccer players have been suspended. They've also been fined about 40 large.
Yeah.
And could face 74 public lashes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
All over a goal celebration.
A
bunch of guys got together and all hugging. The one guy jumps on the top, and this guy here is on the top, and another guy grabs him on the butt and gives him a little squeeze.
Yeah.
And supposedly that breaks the public chastity, whatever that means. So they're paying for their actions. They might be lashed on the very field where the thing happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's interesting.
That is interesting. Speaking of that part of the body, British when he's winning, Scottish when he's losing. Tennis star Andy Murray is out with a straight gluteal muscle.
Yes. Did it while he was sleeping.
Yeah, did it. Sure he did.
Somehow.
I bet. Which he says he hurt, right, and had to withdraw from a tournament over it.
Yeah. But you know what? British when he's winning, Scottish when he's losing. That's true.
That is
if he
true.
loses, they go Scotland's Andy Murray.
Yeah,
if he wins, right. He's Britain's tennis superstar.
Of course, I love it.
He got in trouble for saying that he was cheering for anyone but England in the last World Cup. Because you're British, you should cheer for. So he had to withdraw, and all over Scotland there was anyone but England shirts everywhere.
Nice.
So I love him for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Finally, a bad to the International Amateur Boxing Federation Association, whatever they are.
Whatever they are.
Women's boxing is going to debut at next year's Olympics.
I like it.
That's cool. They're meeting in January to decide whether or not they should wear skirts in the ring.
Oh, wow.
Is that it? Like, there's nothing else to talk about? So, should they wear skirts?
Should they wear skirts?
Should these girls that are punching each other in the face wear skirts?
Man, because you think that the sexism is over with, but it's really not.
It's not.
It's not at all. We're going to move on to the punchline now. Fans of the Detroit Lions are in an uproar ahead of their annual.
They're mad.
This is what I like against the Packers. They're game of the Packers. So at the halftime show there, they've got Nickelback playing.
Everybody's favorite
band. Again, it's like Edmonton's Nickelback when they're doing well, or like Hannah Alberta's Nickelback when they're not doing well.
They got a petition going around. There are thousands and thousands of signatures. They say it's completely unfair to the people who purchase tickets.
Yes.
And it asks, does anyone even like Nickelback?
Do they?
Who's playing? It's one of those bands that I don't know that anyone really admits to like. Some people will say, "Oh, hey," when people are, crapping all over them. Some people will say, "Hey, I love Nickelback."
Yeah, that's right.
But that person probably doesn't really like Nickelback.
Speaking of them,
right on cue.
Yeah,
the CFL announces Grey Cup halftime show.
Nickelback. Nice.
They go to them and they'll be playing in their hometown of Vancouver, BC. And when they said it. They said a couple of their hit songs, and I didn't know them.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know who this is. Their hometown of Cape Grey Cups in BC. Nickelback. And I thought, wait, that's
that doesn't seem quite right.
Black Eyed Peas or the other bands that every single halftime show.
That's right. Well, they could get Madonna.
Yeah.
No, they couldn't. We're going to move on to the last quick hit here. This is a good one, Jim. What do you think is more likely? The fact that the MLB is going to ban chewing on the bench, or the NBA starts by December?
That's tough.
There's a gimme there. Like, I don't know.
I'm going to say the NBA starting is more likely than U.S. Congress banning chew from baseball.
Yeah. It's just not going to happen.
Like, chew's almost more a part of baseball than bats.
No kidding.
If you ever watch baseball, you see more chew than you see
more people chewing than you do see people hitting with a bat. Absolutely. Well, folks, that's our 15 minutes of fame up for this week. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We'll try to get it figured out for next week. In the meantime, I'm Jeffrey Driscoll.
And I'm Jim Kerr.
Have a good week, folks.